Hi everyone, today we have Dr. Robert Porter on our show. Dr. Robert Porter has over half a dozen companies in the biomedical sector that he sold or put on the stock market, not only in this country, in Britain, but in Sweden as well, as I remember. I've known Robert from, I think probably 2014, wasn't it, when we met through one of your
Around
companies?
about that, yes, starting with Concepta Diagnostics.
Yes. So you owned Concepta Diagnostics, and we started on one of the projects. So this is, I think, about 8 years now that we've known each other. And if I call you Rob for the show, you're fine with that. And Rob's one of the first people to be working on lateral flow testing.
That's correct.
And I think that's not just in the country, that's all over the world.
Yeah, so I started with, in 1986, as a young lad, was brought in to help the guys who invented lateral flow technology, to help them develop up the technique and put it forwards to create the very first lateral flow company called Unipath that created Clear Blue, which is quite a big pregnancy test brand.
Yes. I think anyone who's had children has probably
probably used one.
Yes. And so you did your PhD in what exactly was the?
So I did my PhD in electrochemical immunoassays. So I developed a brand new technique which was using what's called conducting polymers, which you may now see more frequently in your television screens, your OLEDs. The OLEDs are organic light emitting diodes, and I was using these in immunoassay diagnostics, and we developed a brand new assay technique which was highly sensitive and groundbreaking. Unfortunately at the time we couldn't get it to market because everybody was focusing on making television screens and were not interested in immunoassays. So I should revisit it someday when I have some time again.
So ironically, when the inventor of the television didn't get his product to market initially, then it took a while to.
Yeah.
So you've owned quite a few of these companies that worked in this sector. Was each one specializing in a different part of?
So one of my first companies was a company called Argento, which was then called AG Plus, which was based on a pattern that I developed for measurement of silver nanoparticles electrochemically for the use of immunoassays, and we were working with all the big football clubs, and we were working with the Olympic 2012, crikey that's a long time ago, Olympic teams to develop diagnostics for them, as well as cardiac diagnostics. And then from there I moved on to creating another company called Concepta, which went back to Lateral Flow, where we developed the very first quantitative lateral flow device. From that company we put on the AIM stock market.
So for a layman like myself, so quantitative means whereas the pregnancy tests used to give you yes or no, this one gives you the exact concentration of how much.
That's correct.
And this is obviously, it's not how much pregnant you are, but this is how much fertile you are, or
how pregnant you are. Yes. So one of the key things with HCG, which is the pregnancy hormone, is if you can track the pregnancy hormone, and it should double or triple over every day, but if it doesn't do that, then there's something that's not going quite right with that. So being able to quantitatively track HCG was quite important, but the main one we went to market was with another hormone, which is a fertility hormone called luteinizing hormone, and that luteinizing hormone is the hormone that is produced by the woman to eject the egg, so ready for fertilization. And the problem was that the market really was focusing on the average woman, and unfortunately there's no such thing as an average person. So unfortunately the average woman doesn't have fertility issues, that's why they're average. whereas the women that fall outside of that tend to be the ones which have the issues which don't have the normal LH curve. So we developed a test for the women who were struggling to get pregnant that would actually fit their needs, and that was what the driver was. So that's the niche that we went for.
So they're monitoring their luteal phase.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And so what got you into this subject? I take it because it was your specialization of PhD, or even before that you were already interested?
So a lot of people ask me why I do science.
Because I know, I remember you were a sprinter as well, weren't you? You once,
Yes. I was county champion for 400 and also run for the county, but also I came second in the independent schools national championships. Unfortunately didn't, but I was asked to run for Britain in Germany, but I didn't take it up because I was a year young and I thought I could, and I was doing my O-levels at the time, which gives away my age now, and I thought I'd do it the next year, but unfortunately the next year I got injured. So
well, I won't ask which Olympics this would happen, so let's keep it a little bit vague.
Yeah. So but yeah, I got it. Why people ask me why I do what I do, and unfortunately the answer is I did science because it was the only thing I was really good at, and I just bumbled along and just carried on because I was good at chemistry. I kept doing chemistry, and then basically got into immunoassays. Really was through my father, who was probably the number one immunoscientist in the world at the time, and he kind of got me into diagnostics.
And his name for
his name was Professor Philip Porter, and yes, so he's well known. We're not related to a guy called Rodney Porter who got the Nobel Prize for immunoassays, I think it was. But no, my dad was Philip Porter.
I see. I've come across people who have worked for your dad, and they all say great things about him. In fact, some of them mentioned they even they came to work with you because they had worked with your dad.
Yes, yeah. No, I tend to have a lot of people who like working with me, so I must be doing something right.
Outside of this, what kind of music do you listen to?
Music, I don't subscribe to any type of music. I just like what I like. I'm not a music snob, so I go from like Mozart through to, I don't know, the Beastie Boys or something like that. So yeah, I'm not a genre person. I just go, I like that tune, so that's it.
What's your favourite movie?
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Okay. I'm afraid I've never heard of it. Okay. And what's the future? Where are you going from here? I know you've recently started another company called RAPAPPS.
Yes, with a very friendly person called Hashi.
I'm afraid this is a shameless plug in here because it's a new company that Rob created, and Rob and I are partners in that.
Yeah. So basically we're looking to grow the company further. We're at a point where we've got to either grow bigger or push people away. So we've decided we're going to go bigger. So we're going to start our marketing for the very first time of the business. We've got some key shows that we're going to go to because we're business to business system, so we need to kind of get the name out there. The name seems to be out there and travelling around very fast with good reputation and good feedback, so we're getting a lot of interest, but we've got to kind of boost that internationally. We already we have customers, America, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. So I was going to say we're very big in Europe, but yeah, we've got customers all over the world.
Excellent, excellent. And so you're going to be attending the event in Germany in Düsseldorf?
Yeah,
That's
the Medica.
Medica one, so.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And where do you, now, well, one of the questions I will be asking every guest we have on our show is, where do you see your industry going in the next 20 years? What are your predictions?
Well, there needs to be something disruptive in our business. The reason why I say that is lateral flow is probably one of the only patents that has been in continuous use and nothing has changed with it. So it was developed in 1986-85 and it's been going on for over 30 years now and nothing has knocked it off the market, which is unusual. The only thing that's probably done that is the wheel, which hasn't changed much. Even then, you've got different types of rubbers and stuff that's gone in there. Nothing's changed within lateral flow. So there is going to be something that's going to be very disruptive, move the business on, and that's where we kind of sit. Is like we're not interested in just plugging on, creating the same old lateral flow tests for the same old people. It is, well, what is it that can make the technology or the equipment better for the end users? And we're very much focused on partnering with people with new materials, new ideas, etc. We're not interested in just making another kind of lateral flow device. We will do, obviously, because if people need that, but we're more interested in the disruptive nature of it.
So with each client you're trying to push it one step forward towards the next thing that's going to be breaking the mold in the industry.
Exactly, making the differentiator for the client so that when they go out there they have that differentiator which makes them different to everybody else in the field, and that's where we sit. We kind of create that little bit of difference for them, and so even your standard pregnancy test, we are always looking to make it different to what's actually out there, and therefore making sure the customer, when they come to us, has a product at the end of the day that stands out from the crowd and makes it a success.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Rob, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Take care.